Well, hey friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Well, hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode number 349. This podcast episode is brought to you by Good Ranchers. Oh, we have been enjoying their meat. It is meat delivery straight to your door. You can go to goodranchers.com and see all the different meats that they have made, of course, right here in America. And you can get $20 off your order if you use the code GEN20. That's JEN20. And so go check out goodranchers.com. We're happy to have them sponsor this episode today. So I'm going to talk about something kind of fun. And all of you ladies who, like me, have a real desire to travel, just know that you're going to want to oh, that's me just clanking around a fork from lunch on my desk. You're going to want to forward this podcast episode to your spouse. And you're going to be like, Jen said. By the way, you guys crack me up when you send me those types of DMs and you're like, I shared this with my husband and I told him that Jennifer said, and I'm like, okay, am I helping marriages? I hope so. I hope that I'm not driving a wedge. No, I'm kidding. I want to talk today about how I think sometimes we undervalue and underestimate let's see, how do I phrase this? The value and the need for new environments, which could be travel, which could be road trips, which could be day trips, which could be ever, as an entrepreneur. I want to make a case for how you need new environments if you need new inspiration. Okay. So I want you to know that I am still looking for one of my journals that I believe that I wrote in. Well, I can remember, okay, so I owned the Magic Brush, my painting company that I closed down in 2017. So I'm going to guess it was probably 4 years before I closed it. So let's say maybe this would be the year 2013. So let's say a decade ago. I can remember we had a client who had a home at the lake, which is near Kansas City. So there's Lake of Ozarks and things. So we took a 3 or 4 hour drive, the Magic Brush team and I did, and we went and painted this lady's kitchen cabinets. And she said, you can stay at our house that's on the lake while you're painting the cabinets. And it was so much fun, you guys. So we would get up early and we would paint. And that way we would be done hopefully by lunchtime. And then we'd all lay out on her dock and we'd jump in the lake. And now that I know more about lake water, I think lake water's gross. I couldn't do that again. But it was so amazing. And I did a lot of journaling while me and my team were there that week. And what's interesting is not only did I a lot of journaling, but one of the journal entries I distinctly remember was I would like to travel once a quarter. Now at this time, 10 years ago, Jason and I were just trying to make a yearly vacation a priority. And there may be some of you on here right now who are like, you know what, Jen, ridiculous, because we don't even have a chance. Like we can't even afford to go once a year. Listen, there was a time when we could barely afford to vacation every year because we had 3 kids. Airfare was expensive. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times we would go stay at Jason's house in Florida, Jason's aunt's house, because she would give it to us for free. So we would just have to work on airfare to get there. We would use a Southwest credit card and so we would put, everything on there for a couple of months and get some points. So we'd get a couple of the kids with a free airfare. And we had to do a whole dancey dance thing. So I just need you to know, it's not like, it was easy for us at one point to vacation, but then we got into the regular rhythm of every summer we are taking a family vacation. Like this is a non-negotiable for mom. And it was funny because I at times would feel like, okay, why is this so important to me and so not important to Jason? Not that he didn't want to go, but it was more just like he could kind of take it or leave it type of thing. And literally one time we had a conversation with our pastor about it because it was so important to me that I would get almost angry if he wouldn't get excited and on board about travel. Now, 10 years later, you guys, I finally know why. I finally know why. It isn't that I have this, what do they talk about, like gypsy, roots and the need to go. It's not that. It's that for me, one of the only times that I can turn off business is when I'm traveling. And the only reason that I finally figured that out is because we bought Bougie on the Beach. It'll be almost 2 years ago now in July. We bought Bougie in the Desert in Arizona back in October. And I can tell you that when I go to either of our second home and third home, I kind of check out with work. Now, lest you think that that means I'm not doing work. No, it's completely the opposite. What happens is I'll get some creativity back. I'll get a little bit of spunk back. I'll get a little bit of clarity back. I'll get a little bit of like fire in my belly back. And it's super fascinating because I didn't realize that when I changed location and I changed scenery and I changed routine and I changed what I was looking at and I changed what I was seeing, that inevitably it would change then how I would show up and how I would perform when I came back and how I would think about things. And so I recently had this aha moment. I told Jason, I said, I think one of the reasons that travel has become so important to me. And remember, it was 10 years ago, I wrote, I want to travel once a quarter. And now I'm traveling at least once a month. Isn't that just like our God, by the way? He's going to be like, I see your heart's desire, Jen, and I'm going to like quadruple that for you. I'm going to triple that for you, girl. I love that about our Lord. And so, I was telling Jason just recently that when we travel, like I have a hard time keeping up with my DMs. I pick up my phone less, which I really need to do. There's this thing, by the way. Okay, listen, there's this thing. I want you guys to all go right now to the settings on your phone, if you have an iPhone. And then I want you to go down to screen time. And your screen time, for some of you, it's going to make you shudder. But I want you to keep going here. I want you to click on the words see all activity. Okay, you got see all activity. Then I want you to go all the way down to the bottom. And I want you to see where it says pickups. This is where it's going to show me. And this is where it's going to show you how many times you picked up your phone on any given day. You guys, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how many times I have picked up my phone some days. Just literally embarrassing. And so what I've noticed is when I'm gone, I pick up my phone less. We were just in Iowa this weekend, and I forgot to take pictures on Easter Sunday. I just got a couple of snapshots from other people in the family because I was really in the moment. And so it's interesting to me how I am so much better as an entrepreneur if I change my environment, because I get like fresh inspiration. And so here's what I want to encourage some of you with. I think sometimes after we do a huge push in business or we have a huge win, we should really pay attention to the fact that we may feel very depleted. We may feel very uninspired. We may feel very burned out. Hey friends, so I got to tell you, Jason and I are absolutely loving our meat deliveries from Good Ranchers. And I want to tell you all about it because I think it's such a wild world that we live in, that we literally have the ability to have amazing, healthy, fabulous meat boxes delivered directly to our door. I mean, what kind of a world do we live in, right? And so go to goodranchers.com and get subscribed today for a meat delivery. And if you subscribe and use my code, which is Jen20, that's JEN20, you do get $20 off of your subscription and you do get free bacon for a year. Okay, right now, for real, you do get Applewood smoked bacon free, not once, not twice, but in every box for a whole year. And so if you're interested at all at trying out Good Ranchers, this is a really great time to do it. Don't forget to use the code Jen20 and go to goodranchers.com. The American meat delivered. Going to Iowa this weekend was right on the heels of the Better Way launch, and it could not have come at better timing. Even just a 5-hour road trip to go stay at the farm with my family and, look at cows and just be outside wandering around. It was amazing. There's something that happens when you change location. And I know that like after the miracle of loaves and fishes in the Bible, Jesus went to a new place to pray. It's in Mark 6. He said, and after he had taken leave of them, he went up to the mountain to pray. I think it's interesting that he went to a mountain too, because he went to some place that would have some majestic qualities to it. He went to a place that was beautiful. He went to a place that probably felt inspiring. And I think that that's fascinating. I don't think we travel enough, friends. I do not think we travel enough. And I know in my knower that some of you are going to be like, well, we can't afford to travel. Figure out a way to. It can just be a day trip. Figure out a way to. When we were broke, we figured out a way to. We would go stay at the lake at this lady. She used to go to my church. Her name was Allison. She's wonderful. And she would just charge us for the cleaning fee. And we'd go stay a whole week at her house at the lake. And it would just allow me to like get away from the painting business. We would drive there so we didn't have airfare, but there are ways that you can make things happen. I remember this one time I was at a conference with Allie Brown. I love Allie's depth and I love her ability to say things sometimes in a way that I hear. But I remember that she said to me, Jennifer, no good ideas come from your office. And we were talking about like how to get re-inspired for your business and how to, get your creativity back going and stuff. She was like, no good ideas come from your office. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is so accurate, right? And one more like really disjointed, I feel like I'm giving you like a bunch of different thoughts that aren't even connected here, but here's what I want to tell you. If you feel like God is in the midst of doing a new thing in your business, like in Isaiah, it talks about, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Like, if God's doing a new thing, sometimes I ponder, does a new thing almost require like a new setting, a new location, a new perspective that can only come when you're looking at things differently? Because here's what I know to be true. Number one, you have to get away physically from your business sometimes. You just have to. Number two, you have to get away from your phone sometimes. You just absolutely have to. Number three, I think God can speak to you, and we can hear differently when we're in a different place. Sometimes I think that we can't see the forest for the trees. Like we're in the thick of it so deep that it's hard for us to like hear from heaven concerning our business or hear from heaven concerning shifts and changes. And Lord, what do I need to do? I think we could even talk about how cool it is, like to go, like, let's say in a mastermind to different places where a whole group of you are in a different place together. We're getting ready to meet in Nashville with my Creators Next Level Mastermind in an incredible hotel. And, we'll be there in a very beautiful environment. My team's, going, and we will be there talking with 50-ish women who are in my mastermind about their business. It allows them to break away from their day-to-day. It allows us to break away from our day-to-day. And the creativity that will be sparked in that room will just be incredible. If you've never left home to go to a business meeting like that, I can't urge you enough. Honestly, I can't. You need to get on the wait list for my mastermind. Let me just tell you that. It's not open at the moment, but you can go to creatorsnextlevel.com to get on the wait list for that. But there's something happens when you leave your normal day today and are in another place with a bunch of people. I will even tell you that last summer, my two best business buddies, Carrie Robena and Adrienne Richardson, the three of us went to Bougie on the Beach, our house in Florida, and we stayed, I think, for 3 nights, the three of us. We just had a random opening on the calendar and I needed to get away. Like I had the itch. And what I love about my husband is he understands Jen needs to go. She's antsy and she's itching to like go places, get on a plane, relocate, decompress, think. And I love that he knows that about me. So Carrie and Adrienne and I went, and we're all in completely different arenas. Carrie's in the health and wellness space in network marketing. Adrienne is a Facebook ads expert, and I'm a business coach. And I'm telling you guys, we made some really big decisions, each of us, for our business while we were there. We literally, we're in the ocean floating around on inner tubes, talking about shifts we need to make in personnel, things we need to do to, meet revenue goals, how we're going to shift some things about financial goals for our families. Like it was fascinating just how getting around almost like just like-minded people in a different space. It was such a huge shift. In fact, I'm going to call Carrie and Adrian when I'm done here and be like, when can we go again? When can we go again? So listen, here's my encouragement to you. If you haven't gotten away from business in a while, you need to. If you want to try to convince me, Jennifer, I just can't, I'm way too busy, then I'll tell you, and this is exactly why you need to. If you don't start prioritizing pulling away, you cannot be shocked then when you're completely spinning your wheels and burn out. You just want to throw in the towel and everything. Get away. For real. Get away. Get away from your business for a weekend. It will survive without you. It's pride thinking it won't. And if it won't survive without you for 2 nights, then guess what? You've got to rework your entire business. Let me help you with that. You've got to set up some different things. So that's one of my suggestions. Second suggestion, go with a couple business buddies. Go with a couple of people you love. Find a mastermind group. Apply for mine if you want to. Like I said, it's not open, but you can go get on the wait list. But travel with a bunch of people. That's like double the anointing. You're in a new place and you're with a bunch of people who are like-minded. But it's not, I think sometimes people think, I wonder if she just really loves to travel. I mean, I really do love to travel. I love seeing new places, but I also love that it's when I go to new places, I get new ideas. It's when I leave, our home here and leave the daily grind and leave the daily routine that I see business almost through like a completely new set of eyes. And I hope that that's encouraging to someone this morning. If it is, I want you to share this podcast. Share it with somebody that needs to hear it. Share it with some other business owner. Share it with your spouse to convince them that Jen said you need to take a vacation this summer, because I did. Because I did say that. And I hope this was helpful and a blessing for somebody today. Much love to you all. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show? Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.